Welcome back to Swan Dive, a Spire campaign by the savage Godlings. Last we met, old friends, our intrepid revolutionaries began their search for the truth behind the whispers of the Forefathers, a clandestine archdeacon election, and disappearing children throughout the Spire. We also met a new friend, Griff, also known by very, very few as the Red Snare, defender of some kind of justice within the works, industrial heart of the Spire, and now a fellow operative of the Ministry. After the crow-rife pursuit of a lead given to Gertrude by a fellow squatter, Corval, the party found themselves with a hard-earned audience with the Archdeacon himself in the Solar Basilica under shadowy circumstances. After a tense negotiation with the Archdeacon featuring Willow's in-depth investigative style and Oren's careful cleanup, the two were quietly plied by the Archdeacon to make Deacon Herald's the Sunrise disappear, and His Holiness would make the evidence disappear as well. We returned to them, pursuing a lead acquired by Griff, a vast party themed to tastelessly recreate Red Rose atmosphere and an Aelfir's sprawling spiral garden, a horrific artificial constructed garden mocking nature's beauty in one of the most pure expressions of the Aelfir's unrelenting love and lust for artifice in all things. And that crowd, leads are inevitable. Just as inevitable as the consequences of attendance.
Okay then, folks. What is our next plan of action?
Well, we've got this much information. I'd say maybe we put our noses to the ground and try to find out a bit more about this party Red Snare was talking about.
Yeah, we should go looking for the party. It's red row themed.
Red Row themed, eh? Do you know anything more, like where it's going to be held or anything like that?
Absolutely not. No.
Well, don't you worry your head one little bit. I'll find out. I think I could get myself a little invite to this party pretty easy.
Yeah, and I think the rest of us are some pretty sneaky fellas. I think we can find a little way around as long as we know the address.
I'll be sure to procure that for you. In due
Perfect.
time. I think I'll go and take myself a little ice bath.
And I'm going to take a nap.
Good for you. Cool, Miss Gertrude. You go do that.
Me and Red Snare can discuss what our plans are when we get into the party.
Oh yeah, let's discuss.
Well, I'll just meet back here in about an hour and a half.
Sure.
That'll work for me.
Yeah, killer.
I'll see you folks later.
And we move out. Rest of the party goes to their dark deeds, and we move to Willow, attempting to make herself known in a local ice bath. Glorious location, known for the wealthy and elite visiting it to get their ice bath needs, a normal practice among the Aelfir, who of course traditionally hail from the high north. Extremely cold, extremely frigid. Aelfir don't feel cold very well, so it keeps them lithe, and there's kind of reports that regularly bathing in ice actually helps the Aelfir stay in better moods, like not just health, but better moods and better like stability in general, mental wise. There's a reason why Aelfir don't actually go to the New Jobian front down south. Kind of, there's only one or two Aelfir that have gone down there, and they're ones that have undergone undying surgery. Drow are, of course, primarily pledged. We make our way to a little ice bath known as the Iceberg.
So, do you feel like Willow goes here regularly, or is this
No, I feel like she's never gone here before, actually. I don't feel like ice baths are really her thing.
Okay. It's an Amaranth. Probably have to pay a little bit. I feel like you get through probably a simple set of doors to an entry lobby, probably simple carved wood, like a Scandinavian minimalist sort of elegance to it all, and a bespoke suited man stands behind a counter. By man, of course, I mean drow, and whenever you come in, he gives you a gentle bow. Good afternoon, madam. How may I assist you?
Good afternoon, sir. Well, I was looking to use one of the ice baths here. I'm afraid I've never been here before, so forgive me if I'm not entirely certain on how this process works.
No, if you are simply new, madam, there is no offense. As a newcomer, you will simply pay a fee, have access to our changing rooms, and then may access our primary baths behind me. If you want a more secluded experience, we have private bathrooms available.
Oh, well, how much might one of those private bathrooms run me?
It will be a few hundred stin.
Okay. Out of context, out of character, is that a lot? What? Because I don't know how the currency works in this game.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something I would be able to afford or not.
You're good. I mean, it's probably on the pricey side. I imagine your lifestyle, you have some money to throw around, but it's probably going to be like a D6 silver.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
You know, I'm willing to pay a little extra for some privacy and, you know, to get away from the hoi polloi. She winks at him through her mask.
Huh. Excellent taste, madam. Well, I will be taking your sten, and you may find yourself in a dressing room to the left, madam.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure. Yeah, and then if you could roll me a d6 of silver stress.
D6 sliver. That's 3.
Damn. Unfortunately, I rolled stress on top of your silver stress, so that will inflict a minor silver fallout. And yeah, your minor silver fallout is almost broke. Any stress applied to silver is going to be up to dice level the next time you roll it.
And is this just once, or does this continue
Ongoing.
until I... Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Ongoing until you heal it.
All right.
Gonna have to scrounge your pockets, sell stuff from home, etc., etc.
Ask Daddy for more money.
No, that too. Yeah, I feel like you get changed pretty quickly, you know. Nice, simple dressing rooms. Probably not super occupied this time of day. Probably late afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock. Yeah, you make it into the ice baths. There's probably a handful of other patrons. Yeah, sort of like a Japanese bathhouse. Wide, broad pools. And whenever you come out of the dressing room, the attendant hands you a key. Kind of an old, classic, long metal iron key. And on it has a big tag. Tag has a big number. Probably like number 3, and once you're in the main bathhouse, this sort of large, wide bath with a couple little like sub pools, you see, and the back of the room are, essentially what are roomed off sub pools, and you can see the water kind of flows underneath the door.
Okay. Yeah. Just gonna go and find the room that this key goes to.
Yeah, and you unlock the door, and you kind of have to step into the water to get past the door, of course, and yeah, you can close it behind you, and you have kind of a nice, small, enclosed room. There's like an Arcano light above you, kind of galvanic technology being reflected off some mirrors, and it casts some nice yellow light over this kind of gentle blue and white porcelain, bathhouse room.
Atmospheric. Is there anybody else in this room?
No, it's just you. It's a private room.
Well, okay. Well, that sucks. I had a bit of a different idea in mind for a VIP room, but that's fine. I didn't think that'd be just me. I'm just gonna sit here for a second. I guess if these rooms are only meant for one person...
It's meant for a private party, yeah.
Okay. So what I'm looking for is just, like, trying to find somebody else to talk to while I'm here.
Okay.
Obviously, I didn't want to, like, just be by myself in a room.
Sure. Yeah, there's probably like 4 people outside in the actual bathhouse itself, but yeah, all these individual private rooms are private bathrooms.
Yeah, here's what I'll do. I'll start out in the like main. I'll be cool. I'll be a cool lady. I'll start out in the main pool. I'll commingle with some fellow Aelfir.
Okay, cool.
I'll just kind of like coolly slide in to the ice water. And I feel like in the lore it says that most Aelfir can't feel the cold, but Willow, having grown up in the Eastern Kingdoms for most of her life, I feel like is a little bit more sensitive to it, so she kind of has to like, as she gets in, but she tries to hide it, obviously.
I definitely see our Aelfir as being slightly adjusted from the Aelfir in the lore, not by too much, but I think you can probably feel the cold a little bit, just like highly adjusted to it,
Yeah.
Like a native northern individual,
Mm-hmm. Just
Cool.
gonna kind of slide in and just... Boy, I tell you, it's been a long one, hasn't it? Who's closest to me?
It's probably like an older woman, probably Aelfir, and elegant hair kind of wrapped up in a towel, but still wearing like jewelry on her eyebrows and on her ears, and very long and spindly and kind of that Aelfir supermodel beauty sort of way.
Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna kind of, like, sit near her, like, at a respectable distance, like, 5 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, boy, it just never ends, does it, sister woman?
No, I suppose it doesn't.
Life, I mean. Oh, feels so good just to be able to relax for once.
Yes. Yes, it does.
I tell you, though, one thing that's funny to me, watching all those ruffians from the Red Row, sometimes I like to just go and people watch for a couple of hours. Mighty entertaining to me. You ever done that?
People watched?
Well, yeah. Sure. Doesn't it feel great to know that you're better than them in a way?
I suppose. You're awful forward, aren't you?
Well, I don't know. I suppose you just have an energy about you that makes me feel comfortable.
Huh. Well, I certainly enjoy being better than people, but I don't know if I am that flagrant about it. I applaud you in your bravery.
Well, you see, I'm kind of new around these parts, and I find myself having to put up an air of confidence just to get along from time to time if I'm telling the absolute truth. I may go overboard with it from time to time.
Uh-huh. This is a lot of emotional vulnerability for someone you met 45 seconds ago?
Well, like I said, I find myself feeling awful comfortable about you.
Huh.
Maybe it's the fact that neither of us are wearing clothes, or maybe it's the fact that you just have a nice energy. Remind me of somebody I might be related to or something like that. Forgive me if I've crossed any boundaries.
You're all right. kind of starts to scooch just a little bit.
Oh, that's all right, sister woman. I'll leave you to take your ice bath in peace.
Did you need something by and by?
Oh, no. I just figured maybe I'd find somebody to commiserate with.
Well, I'm trying to bathe here. I appreciate your friendliness, but you're being a little bit provincial.
Provincial? Well, provincial? Well, all right, ma'am. I'll leave you to your peace. And I'm gonna go find somewhere else to sit. I'm gonna find someone else to bother for now.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Yeah, there's another woman in here. Probably not super far. Another drow woman.
Okay.
Yeah, which is sort of rare, but yeah, she's ice bathing.
I'm looking for another Aelfir woman.
All right, you ignore her.
I'm not ignoring this drow
Probably
woman.
for the best.
It's not like I walk past her and flagrantly ignore her or anything.
No, she has a repulsive aura. Trust me, you don't want to. You don't want to talk to her.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
She was just nearest. So you scooch on over to another person. Yeah, maybe this is a feller, another another Aelfir fella. Probably, Aelfir sort of ageless. Short cropped hair, probably fairly muscled. It kind of has that lean, even focus of, like a police officer, probably a guard or something like that.
I think here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit just where I can make eye contact with him through my mask. And does his mask also have eye holes?
Yeah,
make eye contact?
I think so.
I'm just gonna try to make some seductive eye contact with this gentleman.
Okay. It probably works eventually. It probably reaches your eye contact.
I can make a compel roll for this if you want me to.
Sure. Yeah. Give it a shot. Maybe that'll influence the outcome here.
Yeah. This is what all the ladies in my adventure novels do. I got 2 10s.
Nice. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, you catch his attention. What are you doing with it?
I'm just gonna once we have this connection forged, I'm gonna trust me, this isn't going anywhere nasty, okay? I'm gonna preface this, but I'm gonna just look at the private room, and then I'm gonna walk over there.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, he follows you. Yeah.
I told you
You're fine. You're fine.
Specifically said that so you wouldn't react like that.
We in the nasty zone. You make it into the room. The guy follows you. Yeah, he very slowly sinks into kind of the hot tub-esque seating on the edge of this, like, rimmed tiled pool, which, of course, is just filled, in my mind, of course, with just floating hunks of ice, like, kind of cubed ice, but the cubes are, like, the size of your fist. And I feel like attendants are constantly just, like, hurling buckets of these, like, bronzen buckets of these into the, various pools.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just like, so, tell me, brother man, what's your name?
Patrocles.
Patrocles. That's a nice name.
Thank you.
I've invited you in here with me because I've had an awful long week, and I'm looking for somewhere I can get away tonight. Do you know of anywhere I can do that?
Get away?
Yeah. Not privately, of course. Not at first. She winks at him. But, somewhere I might be able to meet people. Do you know anybody who might be able to introduce me to some people tonight?
There's actually a party I'm attending. A rather large one.
Really?
And I happen to not have a date myself.
My. Do tell me more.
It's a simple little affair. I wouldn't want to spoil too much.
Well, I do suppose I might be inclined to go to this little party with you. Where might this be taking place? We're alone in this room here.
Why don't you meet me at my manor, and I can escort you myself.
You're really charming. I appreciate it. What a gentleman. But I'm afraid I have some engagements tonight that may make it so that I don't have time to meet up with anybody beforehand. In fact, I'm terribly sorry if it's going to be embarrassing for you to have your date arriving a few moments late, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to meet you there, sweetie.
Well, I am a man of fashion. I would not appreciate tardiness in a new introduction.
I'll try my very best, sugar. But I wouldn't want to make a fool of you, not looking my very best.
You drive a hard bargain. Yeah, and then I feel like he starts to wade out of the bathroom, out of the private room.
I was trying to get the address from him.
Yeah. And as he's starting to wade, he kind of touches the door. It's an amaranth. You can't miss it. It's Titus's personal spiral garden. A little soiree. When you get to the door, ask for me. I'll tell them to let you through.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. What was it, Patrocles?
Patrocles.
I'll see you there.
I hope. And yeah, he exits the private bathroom.
Willow gags to herself a little. But yeah, then she composes herself, shivers violently, and then, just kind of shivers back to the changing room, and, leaves.
Okay. You get changed, etc. You're done. Fantastic. Are you gonna go and tell people what's the plan here?
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and meet up with the rest of the group, find the rest and let them know I got the goddamn address for the... Willow did it! That was all breeze through the willow, baby. Just like...
Got some goddamn info.
Yeah.
Willow, do you want to just pop in and I'll... Yeah.
Well. Guess who got herself a little invitation to this party?
Was it Gertrude?
No, I was asleep.
Okay, then perhaps it was Oren. Did you do something that I was not aware
No,
of?
I don't think so.
Little Red Snare, was it you?
No, it certainly wasn't me. I didn't do much.
It was
Oh,
can't
you
say
don't
that it
give
was
yourself
me.
enough credit, you handsome little
It
boy.
was me. It was Willow.
Oh!
Willow!
I got myself
Of course,
invited to the
of
party.
course.
I went to the ice baths, found myself some weird, overwrought, gaudy lech named Patrocles. I'm supposed to meet him there. Anyway, I got myself an address. It's supposed to
Jesus,
be
what a name.
some man named Titus's Spiral Gardens. Should be pretty interesting.
That sounds fancy.
This is, of course, an amaranth.
Ooh. That does leave out some of us for being esteemed party guests.
I'm sure there'll
We
be
can always
servants.
try entering in as servants or
Yeah, we could do
Something
that.
like.
I guess that's the plan. Yeah, that was indeed the plan.
I could pretend to be Willow's bodyguard or something. Would that work, do you think?
I think you would play that role quite swimmingly, Orin. What a delightful idea.
I'm gonna go pick up a mask, I think.
So then the plan is to sneak into this Red Row party and gain information on the voting or the underdealing politics behind the vote for a new archdeacon.
Yeah, just anything we can get our hands on.
And I think we're supposed to be finding out more about this group known as the Forefathers.
And we think we can find it at this party.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Okay then. I see no reason to dally. Does anyone know the way to this, what was it called again?
Oh, Titus's Spiral Gardens. Come on, I can show y'all the way.
Titus's Spiral Gardens.
I just want to say right now, this is going to be a piece of cake.
We make our way to the party. Orin makes a detour to buy a mask. I presume people are going to get changed. Does this happen?
Nope, I'm going to
Yeah, Gertrisa just takes out a charcoal pencil and writes service dog on Belvin's cloth.
Jesus.
And drapes an identical piece of cloth over her own face, giving herself a kind of veil.
Okay. So does Gertrisa wear obvious, religious icons or symbols or anything of Charnel?
Yeah, I always pictured, for one thing, I always pictured, Belvin's veil having, some kind of sigil or something.
Okay. So you don't cover that sort of thing. That's still there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that's all I need to know. Okay, so Graythier under civvies, Orin gets his mask, Willow's just rocking her coat. Sonette, I feel like you're dressed pretty plainly in a way that feels like it could pass for any general formality. That's kind of how I imagine her, at least.
Yay! That's exactly how I imagine her.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, I feel like of everybody, you probably don't have to change. Probably fit in any situation, really. So yeah, you slowly, one by one, get half dressed or buy your objects, whatever. It doesn't take too long, probably 15-20 minutes, and you make your way to I was going to say the wealthy part of Amaranth, but all of it is the wealthy part of Amaranth. But you can see Titus's Spiral Gardens well before you are, within a street or two, because they actually are suspended from the roof above them. And it consists of a series of massive several acres wide glass orbs, all of them filled with different soils, which you can clearly tell by the hues and tints, sand and loam and all of that good stuff. And on top of that soil, individualized ecosystems. And you can see through these paneled domes, half domes that all the orbs consist of. Some of them are foggy, some of them are whipped with sand, some are frosted over. And, you see that in the center, all of them, there's sort of an artificial sun, some sort of galvanic technology sun that sends light, and different shades of light, depending on the angle, towards all of them, like a massive painted glass sun. It essentially completely dominates almost an entire chunk of Amaranth. And as you get closer, you see more and more people also dressed in... Amaranth is, of course, seat of Aelfir wealth, so they're actually dressed in a way that, especially Orin, of course, is familiar with, but in a horrendous, haute couture perversion of Red Row poverty. People in gaudy, horrible Halloween costume-esque, Attic costumes of, 3 artful belts strapped to an arm, or, somebody with, a stylized head injury, just gaudy, tasteless horseshit. You see packs of these people all moving towards the Spiral Garden. And by the time you get there, there's small crowds kind of moving in and out. You see there's 3 main entrances. It seems like people I'm sorry, I made the same mistake. There are 2 main entrances, 4 altogether, and the 2 main entrances people are coming in and out of are being checked by bouncer-esque guards, dressed also like Red Row guards, but again, gaudily heightened and exaggerated, sort of like a split helmet that's been like welded back together, and but of course the weld is with like gold and diamond encrustments and stuff. And then there's a bay door, very clearly loading in caterers and, entertainers and that like. And then there's a 4th entrance. All of these, of course, align in sort of a cardinal direction of a central pylon that leads up into the walkways that connect all these orbs. And it seems like that 4th entrance, seems like it's a VIP entrance or something. It doesn't seem like it's being used very much. And yeah, you can see that the bay door is closed right now, and you can see trundling towards the bay door, kind of in the distance along this kind of long road leading off of kind of the main thoroughfare, is a pastel wagon being drawn by 2 donkeys. And yeah, you can see that there's sort of a man in a pastel uniform, a little like almost like a bellboy cap, like a cake shop cap, kind of imagining like the Grand Budapest Hotel kind of carriage there. And yeah, he's sitting next to a very gruff-looking man, not dressed in that same pastel uniform, just kind of normal traveling leathers. And yeah, they're kind of trundling towards those bay doors. What are we gonna do?
Oh, I love those sweet little donkeys. I just wanted to say that. I just think they're so sweet and precious looking.
You know, when I thought about sneaking into a place, I wasn't expecting them to be, suspended in giant fish bowls. This definitely changes things.
Right, yeah.
Rather gaudy, if you ask me.
It's definitely in, like, people die, like, a lot in Red Row. Like, this is...
Yeah,
Yeah, this seems...
This is detestable. I hate this a lot.
Taste, to say the least.
I think we should get in and out as quick as possible.
Does feel a little insensitive.
Fuck this.
Griff is going to, he's gonna wander on up to the little bakers. Hey, you need any help? You need an extra hand?
Do you are you like running alongside the cart? Are you gonna like run in front of the donkeys? What are you gonna?
Yeah, I'm running alongside the cart.
Okay, yeah.
I'm talking to the little man with the little hat.
Yeah, definitely a little guy.
Hat.
He's got a little mustache. Clearly a very small drow. If he stood up, he's probably like 5'5", right? He's a small guy. Yeah, I feel like kind of peers down at you. He's like, "Oh, what's the matter there, lad?"
Hey, do y'all need any help? Any extra hands? I'm real good at cake serving.
Well, lad, I think we're fairly stocked, but it's a very strange circumstance you're approaching us, lad. You better be careful there.
Please, I need work badly. The mob's gonna gut my sister.
The mob is gonna gut your sister.
Yeah, if I don't come up with a day's wage.
That's it. Just a day's wage.
Yeah, but that's all I have. I mean, I don't have anything.
But you just said you had the day's wage.
I need a day's wage. I'm sorry. I'm under a lot of stress. They're gonna gut my sister. I think it's understandable. I'd make a little slip of the tongue.
Oh, jeez Louise.
Patrice's making aggressive thumbs-up gestures at him.
Oh, lad, stop the car, Harold. Stop the car. Kind of whaps him. The guy whoosh, stops the donkeys.
Oh, poor things.
Can I get some Foley for those donkeys?
Oh, sweet.
Dude, donkeys rule.
Donkeys are so fucking cool, guys.
Donkeys rule. And yeah, he kind of points back to the back of the carriage. Hop in, lad. I suppose we could use an extra server. There's bound to be an extra uniform stacked in there somewhere.
Thank you so much. You won't regret this. Sorry, let me take that again. Fuck. Thank you, sir. You won't regret this.
All right, lad. Well, just be quick and be quiet about it. What was your name now, lad?
My name's Griff.
Well, all right, Griff. You'll be a good one now.
And Griff goes to the back and he changes into the little outfit. And I
it is
want
not
it to
little.
be known he's very excited about this tiny hat.
The tiny hat fits snugly, but it is not a little outfit. It is a giant outfit. You're swimming in it. But Yeah, I think you can kind of bind it up a little, kind of roll the sleeves, and yeah, you can get it.
I don't want to. Griff is gonna look so precious with this tiny hat, two bit like the sleeves are hanging off.
Oh yeah,
his shoulders look too big.
Like when his hands are down, like the sleeves are almost to like his middle fingertip, like just huge sleeves.
Fuck yeah! He looks so adorable.
Looks almost like a Bara anime, like with the huge shoulder, like suit jacket.
He looks like a David Byrne with the talking heads.
Yeah,
okay. Big suit. Yeah, you managed to get the clothing on, get the hat on, get the carriage. You make it to the bay doors. Easy peasy. Yeah. And cool. Yeah, you can hear the Arcano lift whoosh. You can feel yourself kind of whoop against the ground, sort of like that elevator feeling, but kind of intensified.
I give a subtle thumbs up and a wink to my compatriots, who I imagine are just watching this happen, still on the ground.
That's what I'm presuming.
Yeah.
Well, that takes care of one of us. I assume Willow and Oren have a way in.
Oh yeah, I'd better go find my date.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Oh, thank you, Miss Sinet.
Step on his toes a bit.
Oh, of course.
Looks like we're the odd two out.
Why, yes, it would appear so. I myself have never been good at this espionage stuff.
I'm just a terrible liar. Funny with the job I have.
Oh, come now, Sinet. You really don't give yourself enough credit.
Think we just pay one of them off?
I could kill one of them.
Ow, but that's so messy. Never really ends well. Too much undue consequences for those involved and not.
Well, to be honest, I hadn't thought this far ahead.
Winging it is kind of what you do best. I thought you'd have something.
I don't know. I could kill them.
Oh.
I'm not really good at this espionage thing, you understand. I could probably kill them, though.
Little too messy, if you ask me. I don't recommend. Ever. Here's what we'll do. Just follow me, and I will do the talking, and you don't have to kill anybody. We good on that?
Yes.
Okay, then. So Sinet will head towards the door.
Awesome. Okay, by yourself or with Gertrisa?
With
yeah, I'm following behind.
Yeah, I feel like it takes a little while to get through the line, but eventually, yeah, you make it up to the bouncers.
Hello there, sir. We're not on the list, but I'm bad at lying, so I'll just put it out there now. I would like to sneak into this party. A crash, how you say. You think you'd allow me in?
You fucking kidding me?
Not at all. How about this?
This is my granddaughter!
Yes, I am her granddaughter. Anyways.
I've never been to a party before. I would very much like to go to a party before I die.
Never been to a party.
Aha.
Okay, how much would it cost to get in?
300 sten.
How about 200?
300 sten.
250?
300 sten, and I don't break one of your forearms.
Well, I do have 4 of them. I think I could... But I lose one. No, I think... 300. Fine, I will pay that.
You're really good at this haggling thing, Sinet.
I try.
Sure, just give me a D8 silver stress.
Okay. 4.
Not bad. You're okay. Yeah, I think you got the money on you. He takes it, palms it, slips it into his coat. Don't make any trouble for me.
I do not plan to. Come on, grandmother.
Oh, thank you, kind sir. What was your name again?
None of your fucking business.
Get in the building.
Oh, yes, of course, the building.
Yeah, she just kind of hobbles up to the bay doors.
All right.
Now we entered through the front doors.
No, yeah, you guys went up to the normal-ass doors.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It totally works. Yeah, you step in. It takes a little while for the elevator to, the lift, it's not really an elevator, the Arcano lift to fill up, and then it lifts you up. And then, okay, we jump back down. Willow, you look a little, for a little while, and yeah, you manage to see in the distance, suited in something like a suit, probably with some tails, but instead of like a vest, he's wearing sort of like a bronzen, like chest plate, sort of in that like Grecian six-pack style. And yeah, you can see underneath, like poking out of the neck, is like some collared ruff. Yeah, he's still wearing a mask, sort of a darkened mask with like a red stripe down the middle, and you can kind of see one of his eyes, his right eye, still exposed.
Ugh, get a load of this guy, Owen. Why, hello, Patrocles!
Ah!
Is that you?
Hello, my little one. How are you, Willow?
Why, I must say I'm doing splendid, now that I've seen you in all of your full glory this evening.
And your friend?
Oh, this is just my bodyguard. I hope you won't mind. A little lady like myself does need some protection.
Ugh. Sticks out a hand towards Orin. And you are?
Orin. He, half-heartedly shakes it. It's a pleasure to meet you, my lord.
Yeah, you know this dipshit fucking squeezes the hell out of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And a pleasure to meet yours. Nope, that's not. And a pleasure to make yours. Orin, I'm Patrocles.
Powerful name. Your costume is in excellent taste.
Thank you. I decided against the Red Row theme. I thought it a bit gaudy.
Oh, you too?
Something of a stylistic flourish on Titus's part. He is a man of fancies. I don't take looking down on the lower class so kindly. Everyone has their place, and there is respect even in the lowliest places.
Oh. Well, that's mighty. That's mighty highly of you to think, Patrocles. I'm honestly at a bit of a loss for words.
We are creatures of hierarchy. Don't make any mistakes. I think such things must be maintained, but honor is achievable by any. Even, drow like yourselves, huh?
Well,
What a nice man.
Indeed.
let's get going on into this party, shall we?
Yes. Well, Lauren, I trust you will look after Willow and myself well, but don't you worry. I can handle myself. And he pats his coat. Ding, ding, ding. And you can hear something click against his breastplate in there.
Of course, sir. I wouldn't expect any less.
So valiant.
Shall we make our way in?
We shall.
Excellent. And, yeah, he kind of sticks out his arm.
Willow takes it, makes a face over her shoulder at Orin, in disgust.
Shakes his head back.
And he walks you to the front of the line. Doesn't even wait in the fucking line. Patrocles! And the kind of guard looks over and is like, what?
Christ.
Patrocles is here.
And Willow.
And my date. And my date's guard. And, yeah, he kind of blinks at him for a little bit too long. You're gonna have to wait in line, buddy. No, I won't. And he walks past the guards.
What the fuck?
I'm terribly sorry, sir.
What a sweet man.
I'm gonna keep walking with him. That was, I'm for sure, that was fine.
Yeah, you guys walk by and you see one of the guards kind of steps in. Wait, what the fuck? And the other one's like, just let him go.
Oh boy.
And you make it up to the Arcano lift. Woo, and it takes you up. All right, so we're going to go back to Griff, because I feel as if, you've been here the longest at this point, and you'll be the first to see what's going down. So you exit the Arcano lift into this central nexus. You see, it's something like a mix between... It's like an Art Deco subway station mixed with an imagined Zeppelin station almost. It has all these big round cushions around pylons that are supporting this central building that you see is also ultimately and you can kind of hear it above you, this kind of soft thrum, like a lighthouse, is what powers the sun thing that lights the rest of these orbs. But this place is clearly meant as this sort of, inter-orb nexus. And you can see that kind of tucked away, there's like some utility closets, and you can see there's like some pallets that haven't been entirely put away. But you can see that there's one clear channel with like a carpet that has been unveiled, that like all the guests are going down, and you guys in your carriage are going down a completely separate path that cuts around through like it cuts through a different orb, so you're not going into the same orb that everybody else is. And you make your way through like a long glass tunnel. The walkways are sort of like wrought bronze with these like beautiful hand-carved like handrails on the sides. But of course, this is a super wide road, so your carriage isn't the only one. You can kind of see one in the distance, and there's probably one behind you. And you can see that in the distance, the orb that you guys are heading towards is utterly frozen. Like, it is completely and utterly frigid. I mean, you can see like ice blasted wind whipping through the end of the tunnel, and as the carriage comes through, you can hear the not tires, or just wheels, I guess, bite through the snow, and begin to crunch through what is almost something like almost mid blizzard. It's so unbelievably frigid. You're a drow, so you're not attuned to this cold, and you hear kind of on the door on the outside of the carriage. While it's still rolling. Yeah, for you, Griff, yeah.
Oh, I guess I opened the carriage door.
Yeah, and you see...
Hello?
Yeah, you can't really see through the window, but when you open it, you can kind of see the poke through ice-glazed mustache, the guy that was up front with the driver. Oh, I'm sorry, my lad. I'm just coming to get my coat. It's a little frigid.
Oh, goodness, yeah. Ooh, chilly. Here, take it.
Then he takes the coat, and you see there's like a little coat rack, and he bundles it around himself and closes the door behind him. I think I'll take a few minutes in here, lad. That's a lot.
Bad idea.
This is his high north orb, I believe, meant to be some kind of imitation of sort of the Aelfir capital type thing. You see.
Goodness, why would anyone want to artificially make something this frigid?
One of those weird Aelfir things, my boy. I couldn't explain to you his proclivities in the slightest. Kind of starts rubbing his hands together, like blowing on them. But we bring the cakes. They eat the cakes. They pay us. We go home.
Not a bad gig.
Fortunately, we're only cutting through this orb. He didn't want us cutting through the guests. We're sneaking around back through a separate orb.
Interesting, okay. That's a way to do it.
Kind of treating us like trash, huh?
Yeah, I'm not too fond of that. Not really about that.
So tell me, boy, what led you here? You said the mob is got your sister.
Oh, yes, it's a sad tale as old as time. Me and my sister, we and I imagine there's like a little violin playing off in the distance. Me and my sister, we're orphans. Our parents, they took ill in the works. Oh, my father, a hard steel-driving man, that boy. Oh, and him and mother both took ill, and they died.
Oh.
And me and my sister forced on the streets. Oh, sleeping in gutters, eating mice. I mean, the mice wasn't that bad. I don't, a lot of people eat mice by choice down there, but, we didn't really have an option. So it's kind of one of those things, you miss options. But anyway, we're on the streets, sleeping in gutters, eating mice, having to take up jobs, and, of course, we didn't have anything. No one would hire us. We were just children. So, well, we went to the only people that would hire us. The Works mob. And, well...
I've heard of plenty of mobs. This one, they just call themselves the Works mob.
Oh, well, I just didn't know if you were familiar. I thought it'd be simpler to say the Works mob. No, the mob that runs the newspaper. Runs all the newspapers. Those mobs.
They run all of them. This one that's hunting you.
They're a little hush-hush, they control the information, so it'd be, understandable that most people wouldn't know about them.
Of course, I'm terrified for you, my boy. I'm so sorry, lad, you got caught up in this sort of thing.
Yeah, well, it's not the life I chose, but it's the life I've been given.
I'm so sorry about your parents, my boy. He kind of scooches in, kind of puts a hand on her knee. Would you like a cake?
Oh, sir, I would like nothing more.
Takes one of those little boxed cakes out from the big pile, breaking the perfect rectangle. Here, just take one. We'll say it fell out the side, won't we?
Oh, sir, are you sure? I wouldn't want to be taking something that wasn't mine.
No, it's yours now, boy. Everything you've gone through, why, a cake's the least that I could do for you. And a job,
oh, sir.
Push up. Come here, boy. Kind of pulls you in a side hug with one arm.
Oh, no, Alice's gonna make me feel bad about deceiving this man.
It's too late.
You fucking better feel bad.
Oh, sir, thank you. And he downs it in one bite.
I'm imagining
Jaw
it's
unhinges like a snake.
I'm imagining it's identical to those cakes in Grand Budapest Hotel, the prisoners cut into the quarters to feed to each other. Yeah, just with a little stack like a snowman, and yeah, you just just in one anaconda gulp.
How does it taste?
Oh my god, it's the best fucking cake you've had in your goddamn life.
Oh!
It kind of immediately releases your shoulder. Jumps in. Oh!
This is so good!
Cake dripping from your fucking maw.
God.
And to be fair, in fiction, Griff has not eaten in a while.
Oh no.
Griff, Griff is actually an orphan.
Yeah, of course.
And he does actually sleep in the gutter and eat rats. Yeah, it wasn't far off a lie.
No, I know. I totally pick up Griff is cutting into his reality with the lie. Yeah.
So yeah, this is probably the best thing he's eaten in maybe his life, definitely in years.
Even if you were a debutante, it would be one of the better cakes you've ever had in your life, I'd imagine. This is an Aelfir catered party. This is a high class bakery we're talking about.
Yeah, this is the best thing that Griff has ever eaten.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, and you can see the guy his eyes go wide and he's very excited about your reaction. Clearly his hands come together. Oh, well, you really like my cakes that much, boy?
Oh, it's truly the best.
Well, you're now a proprietor of those cakes, my boy. You're one of the team.
Oh, I wouldn't want to bring down any mob heat on your business, sir.
Oh, well, you said it was only going to take a day's wages, right, to pay off the mob? That's certainly doable. We have capital.
Well, certainly a day's wages. Sure, yes. You know what? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. He claps a hand on your shoulder. Well, then, sounds like we have a plan, my boy. I'll make sure you're okay today, and Titus's little soiree here will be well guarded, huh? We won't have to worry about anybody seeing you here.
Okay. And Griff just starts sweating, realizing how deep he's gone into the grift.
Well, okay, boy. I better get back out there with Charles. I'm Lewis. I'm your boss. He turns around and sticks out a hand.
Good to know you, Lewis. Griff.
Griff, I had a son once too.
Oh no! Please,
no.
Come on, man! Please don't do this.
Oh.
Kind of takes a second and looks you up and down. You stay safe back here, Griff. We'll be back there. We'll be up there in just a second, all right? And he opens the door and slips up to the front of the carriage.
Oh, no!
All right.
The cake feels sick in his stomach. Oh.
You do remember the last time we had a Lewis. You know what happened to him.
I don't like
Taylor?
where this is going.
Taylor, you want to wonder who that son was? It's a junior.
Oh no! Is he human?
Oh yeah, this guy's a human.
What? No!
I've made a mistake.
Okay. So, yeah, you can eventually you can feel the wind die down outside as you make it through this gargantuan domed orb. All orbs are domed. I'm a dipshit, and eventually you can still feel it's cold. It's cold.
It's a big dome-shaped dome.
It's a big thing. It's a large, big.
This big
you
round
love it.
orb.
It's awesome. It's cool. You love it. Fuck you, Hunter. You can't bring that here too. I've gotten better. You make your way. I was good to begin with. You make your way through the tunnels to the other cold orb. Less cold, less wind, and there's visibility outside, and you can see it's sort of like an idyllic, like Christmas morning Switzerland village. Snow like crested on everything. Everything is slightly glistening. Like the light is, and once again, now you realize what the specific nature of that weird sun orb thing is that those painted glass panels can shift and they can tint the individual orbs, and you realize that this whole orb is tinted in this like nostalgic golden glow. And then we cut over to everybody else. I think you guys probably start to arrive in the party in similar times. And you also make it into this same orb. You go straight there. You don't cut through the high north. And it has this kind of very tight, small village feel. You can see that it all sort of gently slopes, again, very fairy tale-esque, up to a sort of classic Swiss castle. Like parapets. There are these big fluttering flags, gently waving in the breeze. And you can see that all these kind of Red Row people, party goers, are mingling within the village itself. And you see that some people are sort of Disneyland-esque, sort of dressed to match this archaic kind of antiquarian theme, and they're like serving, and they're getting like the shit slapped out of them, and they're being like harassed by the Red Row people. They're clearly trying to keep up some sort of like facade of like a previous era. As you begin to make your way in, you see, maybe one of the. Who wants to go first?
I could walk in with Patrocles.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, so as you guys kind of make your way and you see this village, an attendant comes up to you, and he's got a big, huge tray on his shoulder, not even like one of those like little hand trays, like he's hefting a like a shoulder tray, like a server at a normal restaurant, just covered in huge iron flagons. Is that the word, flagon?
I think so.
That brings to mind an image of a big heavy cup.
Big heavy metal mug, of like ale or mead, like you can just see like overflowing foam. Then he kind of dips down on his knees, drinks.
My, that looks heavy. Are you sure you got that there?
You can see he's kind of gently quivering. Yeah, I got it.
Oh, I suppose I'll take a drink just to relieve you of a bit of your burden there.
Yeah, thanks. He takes some drinks. You can see he kind of lightens up a little. Why? How magnanimous of you, Willow. And he takes one of the mugs, too.
I try.
What about your guard? Would you like a drink, Orin? You don't have to always be on duty, right?
Sure.
Do feel free to take a drink. Yes, that is a...
Sure, thanks, bud.
Something that I would give permission for.
Take it. I'll just double fist him.
Awesome. Just going one after the other.
I told him it's fine if he lets loose tonight. No.
I fight best when I'm a little tipsy.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope you won't have to be fighting tonight, my friend. This is a celebration.
Are we celebrating anything in particular?
Well, yes. We're celebrating the promotion of a paladin captain, a man known as Reeson. An incredible man. I worked with him myself for a time.
Well, Decent. What can you tell me about him? This sounds so exciting.
He's an astounding man, skilled in both battle and diplomacy.
Is he here tonight?
Of course, the party is in his honor. I will have to speak to him by the end of the evening.
Well, I suppose I can let you out of my sight for just a few moments for that purpose.
No, you're with me tonight, Willow. I want to show you off to him.
That's great, of course, yeah.
I mean, look at that little coat of yours.
Oh, you like my coat? Well, it is wonderful.
Oh, it's lovely. I can't wait to see it on the floor of my manor. Just a joke. A little joke.
Or like spits up back into the flagon. And then just downs the rest of it.
That's real funny.
What? Just a little joke.
Oh, it's
Come.
cute.
Let's find some pastries.
That's cute. Let's find some pastries.
That's really funny.
That's
really funny.
I thought it was a good joke, guys. I think he's a good joke
He's
teller.
pretty funny.
I think this is a good guy.
You should do stand-up, Patrocles. Have you ever thought about that?
Patrocles, you're really funny.
Willow loves Patrocles.
Patrocles, you're so funny.
That's real punching up Patrocles.
I think Facade would love Patrocles.
Oh yeah, dude. That's a cool guy to him. Okay, let's move over to our good friend Sinette and Gatrisa as you guys make your way into the party. Of course, you're not quite as immediately noticed as Patrocles and Willow, but you can see attendance. A vast array of partygoers. Doesn't seem like there's any like central focus right now. And yeah, it seems like all of these little kind of main street buildings. I mean, when I say it's like it's like a hamlet, right? It's like 6 buildings. All of them clearly sort of serving some different flavor of debauchery. And people are sort of filtering in and out, drinks, food, people are, making out, clearly in the streets, whatever. Typical Aelfir hedonism, for now.
I know I said this was gaudy earlier, but I think that's too light of a term. Ostentatious? Disgusting? I don't know. We're here, I guess.
I don't know what that first word meant.
It's just gaudy, but times 10.
Oh, very gaudy.
Damn it.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Very gaudy.
Oh, dear me.
Okay, I guess we blend in and see what we can learn. Do you have any plans?
I can make a distraction with crows and maybe hit someone.
I believe I said earlier that the killing part was, again, messy and not in the least bit useful.
I'm sorry. I'm bad at I'm bad at espionage.
What? I won't question it, especially because that's entirely what we do. How about this? You just walk around. You don't have to talk to anybody. You just have to listen. Stand a little too close to people.
What if they talk to me, though?
Say you're sorry, but you have to go to the restroom. And then walk away.
I'm sorry, but I have to go to the restroom.
Where are you guys looking to investigate? What is your plan of action here, Gatrisa and Sinette?
Well, Sinette has... She's just kind of gonna blend in with the crowd. She's not gonna try to stand out. She's not gonna try to, talk to people too heavily. She's more just gonna do what she recommended.
And Gatrisa is also going to try to do that.
Awesome.
I feel like we split up just a little bit, but still within, eyesight of each other.
Okay, yeah, like a crowd's width. You can still see each other, across the room. I get you. Okay, so let's In that case, let's do it individually. So, Sinette, what are you listening for?
Of course, she's listening for, the main things, like politics, what's looking for keywords like solar basilica, though if she hears any talk of paladins, I think her ears will perk up.
Yeah, I feel as you begin to listen to politics, you make the discovery that Clover and Orin have now discovered, that, of course, that this is being thrown in honor of a paladin captain, a man now going to become some political worth, because the captains themselves have a very, not quite superhero-esque, because the paladins are very clandestine, but they have almost like a mythic image in Spire society, and they are definitely high society, like, we're going to trot this person out, and like, oh, look, yes. And this one captain, his name is Reeson, Reesin, and you begin to pick up that the general attitude towards him, even for all of these slimy Red Row shitheads, is that he's a good guy, or that he's too good of a guy. That he's, like, you get to hear these conversations that, these kind of sly, snide conversations about how they don't trust how good he is, or, like, how kind he is, or, like, you can probably, if you're really, really trying to lean into whispers and stuff, you can pick up that some people really think that he's too sympathetic, that he's not hard enough to find himself in this position from past precedent. And people begin to whisper that there's some apparently famous raid or some famous combat encounter. Kind of the snippets you get aren't quite specific enough to figure out precisely what it is, but that he was involved with, in which he was either, for some people, too merciful, or to some people astoundingly merciful in a way that showed, oh, he's got all of this character. Yeah, so I feel, and in general, as you look around, you see that there are paladins here. Some are sort of half-assed in uniform, sort of in uniform, but with like a shawl thrown over it, sort of like, oh, Red Row shawl. And some are just straight up in paladin, like, dress uniform, sort of like navy dress. A flourished coat with those, pauldrons with, like, the fucking brush, like, stuff on the end, I'm talking, like, brush tassels at the end of the pauldrons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, you can see him, kind of mingling as well. And if you listen to those guys clearly respect the shit out of Reeson. You get whispers of, from them, I mean, of nothing, that he's loved by his men, and yeah, that he deserves this, probably.
Yeah, I think hearing that, she's gonna go over to Gertrude and say, I found something that I was going to look into for a bit. Will you be fine on your own?
Yes.
That didn't sound very truthful.
Don't you worry about me. I can handle myself.
Well, good then. Don't make too much of a stir and don't kill anybody. But I will be back as soon as I am able. And I think she's going to go find this resin.
Okay.
Reason?
Yeah, reason.
Reason.
Yeah, it's like somewhere in between reason and, yeah, like reason.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I feel like you're pretty easily able to... No. I should be a GM, shouldn't I? Give me an investigate roll.
but
No,
I don't wanna investigate. I don't got that. This high society?
This is high society, yes.
Can it be low society because they're pretending?
Oh, fuck, I'll give you that one.
Whoa, dude.
Yes.
Oh, that's killer.
That's smart roleplay. You get that, man.
That was very clever.
Dude, nice.
That's why we love Taylor, man.
Let's hope my
Makes things
2d10 worked better than my 1d10.
Boom!
Hey, 7.
Snuck it out. Okay, give me first a D4 shadow stress. Cool. Do you have any shadow stress to begin with?
No. I only had 2. I only have 2 now.
Cool. Okay. So you manage to poke around, and it takes a little while to begin to hear more specific conversational snippets, but you realize that there is a higher party that you're sort of in middle management, kind of within the parties you're managing to find floating in and out of these these sort of like little hamlet buildings, these little like stores that are set up like old charcuteries and like all of this stuff, boulangeries and all that shit. Just elegant little glass cases and people kind of serving them for free. And all of this is sort of middle management, wealth, but not the rich, not wealthy, right? And you do figure out that castle at the top of the hill is of course hosting a more private party as of right now, that eventually apparently the entire party is supposed to move to. But as of right now, Reeson, along with like several other of the most high profile guests, are locked up in there.
Okay. So I'm assuming this is a very large castle, or is it just like a small little?
It's not very big.
Fortress?
It's like a fortress. Yeah, absolutely. You think of like the smallest fortresses in like Skyrim and stuff. Where it has like a real small courtyard that's no bigger than like a big yard, like a big backyard. And then inside there's only maybe like 4 or 5 chambers ultimately. And maybe like,
Okay, yeah.
But it's designed sort of in a amusement park-esque way, to have, more of a scale to it. Like it looks bigger than it is.
Okay, so I think Sinette is going to approach this castle.
Cool.
Yeah.
It has sort of a cartoonish ice moat around it, as you can see, and of course it has a drawbridge that has been pulled up.
Okay, so there's no way to get near the building.
Unfortunately, not. You'd have to cross the ice moat, which is spiky and cragged and fragmented. And you'd probably attract some attention. There are a couple people that are kind of hanging out up here just for like some privacy sake, sort of drunk and high as shit, just sort of lolling around in the grass waiting for the party to move, but nobody's paying you too much mind. But you could sneak across. It will be dangerous. Difficulty 1.
Yeah, I assume so. So Sinette, I guess, will not cross, unfortunately. This is not something she wants to, get the attention of anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Too prominent and have to, explain her way through it. She's already said she's bad at lying.
I do think she could make her way around. I do think she is she could probably tell that if she was to make her way around like the back of the building, there probably aren't going to be any people back there. And if you were to do a sneak roll back there,
so it is possible to get to the back of the building.
But of course the moat wraps around, right? But like at that point back there, it will no longer be difficult. I will tell you that. Like it will take away the difficulty on that sneak roll getting across the moat.
Okay. Truthfully, I just want to get close enough to the building where I can cast a certain spell that lets me be aware of everything in a particular vicinity. I'm just not sure how close that would be.
Oh, yeah, I know the one. I do feel like you have to get across the moat to do that. For me, I feel like...
I would think so, too.
I feel like you need to put your hands on the building. I feel like there's some sort of magic involved where you need to be able to feel a discrete building. It's like with the Basilica, like we talked, right? It's so big that you only got like a portion of it.
Yeah.
Same
no, I get that.
Yeah. But this castle is small enough you can get the whole thing, probably.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go around to the back and see if I can...
That's my boy.
Sneak across this ice moat.
Okay, fan-fucking-tastic. You sneak around the back. Okay. So, let's move over back to Willow, Patrocles, and Orin, and see what our good friends here are doing. So, I think Patrocles takes you, beverages in hand, into one of the little charcuteries, right? Comes in, kind of grabs a plate of, what is that? I'm a dumbass. Did I already say charcuterie?
Yeah.
Charcuterie? Yeah, I said that earlier. What is the actual name? There's the boulangerie. I'm not going to do this. This is French one shit.
The plate of meats
Is
stuff
it an
is charcuterie.
amuse-bouche?
No, charcuterie, you're totally right. But there's it's like the French meat shop. There's like a name for it.
Oh.
It also has like the riz. That's why I was confused.
The meat slinger.
Fuck you. He gets a charcuterie tray, essentially from one of these little shops, and kind of popping meats in his mouth, popping little cheeses in his mouth, offering it, kind of lifting his mask up, kind of offering it over to you guys. I think he's just being sort of an obnoxiously over social guy. Kind of knows everyone. Oh, hey! He does.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's good.
Yeah, he does it so often. I like 6 people in the course of like 5 minutes, that sort of thing.
So, Patrocles, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Tell me what you'd like to know.
Well, Are you a religious person at all?
Of course. I worship at the altar of Brother Autumn, and the solar pantheon at large.
Oh. Well, I'm new around these parts, so I really don't know much about the process of all this. Do you think you could tell me a little bit more about how your typical worship goes and all that?
An Aelfir, unfamiliar with the pantheon. Surely you jest.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't quite reveal much more of my background, but yes. But I was asking about you.
Well, how provincial. I am what you would call a retired hero. I was once a paladin of some renown, but I sustained an injury. Kind of taps his right leg. Bing, bing, bing. Had to replace it with some galvanic human technology. Honestly, I could probably still serve, but I think my talents now are better suited to training the young ones.
That's sweet.
Yes, I take great pride in bringing paladins to their tip-top shape form. It includes young Captain Reeson. He was one of my pupils once. So, Oren, tell me, how long have you been in the employ of young Willow here?
Oh, ever since I was an adult, sir. My family's watched after hers for generations.
Ah, how noble. I'd love to see a family employed by another. It shows loyalty, commitment. I'm a great fan of those qualities. You know, I was among the first to make the initiative to push for drow entrance to the paladin training program.
That's so.
It is so. It was a fantastic success. Something like 6% of new incoming paladins are now drow backgrounds.
Oh. Suppose that's good, isn't it, Oren?
Yes, thank you.
You're very welcome. I've done quite a bit to improve the situation for the drow in this city.
Sounds like it. Sounds like you've done a lot.
I have. And I'll do plenty more. My work has only just begun.
What about those that, don't want to become paladins or anything like that? Do you do any sort of other humanitarian work?
Well, of course, my focus is in justice and retribution, upholding the word of the law and making sure that the youth understand what goodness and truth truly looks like.
Well, that's noble of you.
At the end of a Legrand rifle. Now, tell me, Willow, you come from elsewhere, do you now?
Why, can't you tell from my accent?
Well, it is clearly northern, but one would anticipate a northerner would have a greater grasp on the pantheon than us Spire-born, eh?
I hate to admit it, but as you said, I'm from a more provincial area.
Ah, and where would that be?
Like I said, sir, I can't reveal too much of my background. Why do you think I have a bodyguard following me around? Perhaps at a later time.
Well, I understand such secrecy. Privacy is one's right. Until, of course, it infringes upon the general good, eh?
Of course.
Now, young Willow, you wouldn't happen to be hiding anything important, would you? You wouldn't happen to be from the traitorous South!
I don't think I could last even a day down south, could you?
No, not a moment.
What a preposterous question.
I was
fucking hate this
joking.
guy.
I was joking.
Oh, that was a good one, Patrocles.
Tell me, after our meeting and our primary party entertainment in the castle, there's going to be a more, elite gathering in another one of the domes here. Would you perhaps be interested in accompanying me to it? Something of an after party.
Why, I would love nothing more. Assuming, of course, Oren can come with us as well.
I see why not. In fact, he will be very useful. It will be rather extreme in tone.
Oh?
Don't worry. It It will be entertaining.
Well, I guess we'll just see what all that's about, well, won't we?
Oh, yes. We will.
Can't wait.
All right. And then I feel like you see in the distance, kind of through the crowd, you see a group of figures, black clad. And all of them are immediately sort of recognizably in like kind of the same sort of black clad outfit. Long draping cloak, a hood. The hood within clearly has some sort of colored ribbon draping on the outside of it. And you immediately realize this as, of course, religious adornment. This is the religious iconography of the Laud Nunsam, the Order of Blood, part of the active sects of the Church of Our Glorious Lady, who pride themselves on healing, diplomacy, and historical accuracy. They are traditionalists within sort of the world of the Spire, but of course they are one of the, I believe two, I may be getting that wrong. No, it's, yeah, one of the two primary clergy sects of Drow worship of kind of the facets of the Drow goddess that are still allowed. And you see one of them in particular cuts a strikingly familiar posture. And that individual, especially once you kind of spend a few moments lingering, paying attention to them, catches your eye, Willow. Yeah, and you realize that this figure is Nocien. Maybe in disguise, or, you don't know, but she nonetheless is in this religious garb.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just kind of wink at her subtly as I can, which, underneath her mask, it won't really be that much of a difference, but clearly there's, like, some strain behind the one eye that's winking.
Mm-hmm. She nods, and says something to her companions, and then separates from it and begins to approach you guys. As she begins to walk towards you, Patroclus is like chatting with somebody else, and he kind of turns, sees her approach. Ah, a friend of yours.
Oh, we've met a few times.
Well, nothing better than a Lajon, eh? How are you, ma'am? She finally arrives. I'm doing well. Thank you for your kindness. Willow?
What a surprise to run into you here.
And what a surprise to run into you, Maji Willow.
Yes. Well?
Could you step aside with me for a moment, if your companion will allow it?
Oh, yes, Patroclus, do you mind?
Fine. Be quick.
Thank you.
Thank you, Messier. Patroclus, was it? Yes. I suppose Willow is safe in the hands of a Lajon. Yes, she is. And she kind of guides you aside. And it kind of takes a second, but eventually it kind of takes you just outside of this kind of hamlet cottage, and just a few steps into kind of this beautifully golden lit snow bank with a kind of a single withered tree kind of arcing over it. Are you enjoying the party?
Well, it's honestly not exactly my type of party, but I feel like maybe I could start to get some useful information. I feel like I've got a good insider here with this Patroclus fellow. Not that I trust him or anything like that.
Nor should you. Though he makes claims of assisting Drow communities, he is false.
Never could have guessed.
Do not trust him.
Don't worry. I wouldn't trust him as far as I can throw him, which wouldn't be far with all that gaudy armor.
Gaudy.
But I do believe you should keep him close. You should find some valuable rooms to be in at this party.
He was talking about some sort of awful private after-party that has some sort of ominous things going down. He was saying we might need extra protection, so...
And as you guys are talking, you're kind of marching up this... She's walking up this bank, I'm assuming you're following her. And about now, I think you kind of crest this bank, and you see that there's this flock of birds, these giant, almost like some mix between like a snow bunting and like a pigeon, just big and fluffy and like white and black speckled, and they're all sort of like sleeping, clearly, and they're huge, like crow-sized. At this point, Nocien reaches into her coat and produces a bag and begins to throw out some like dried crumbs, some baked breadcrumbs. Starts tossing it into this mass, and you see these giant pigeon buntings begin to peck up and start pecking some of this this bread.
Do you think that I could?
Oh.
Think I could throw a little bit of that?
Of course, feel free.
Oh, thank you.
Also just feeding these birds and delighted by them.
How is the rest of the group? Have they found themselves in here easily?
Yeah. One way or another, I'd say so. Seems that Griff's got himself a little position on the catering staff here. Good Teresa and Miss Annette, they've found their way in one way or another. I suppose maybe it was a bribe, or maybe they found a spare invitation lying around, or something like that.
That certainly sounds in character.
And Orin is pretending to be my bodyguard.
As I saw. I hope he's having an excellent time with Patrocles.
As excellent as a time as can be had with Patrocles.
Well, sounds like you're all doing just fine following leads. From what I hear, there's a very good chance Sunrise will make an appearance. As to where is anyone's guess, and as to how long is anyone's guess as well. But this is a high-profile event. You all have done well to find your way here.
Do you have any idea what Sunrise looks like at all?
He's a drow. I believe he has heterochromia, if you can get close enough to him, but not of the natural kind.
Do you wear a mask?
Yes, of course.
Any identifying features as far as that mask go that you know of?
Shifting. He has dozens.
Alright, I'll keep it in mind. Thank you, Miss Nosen.
And you see at this point, she's stopped tossing the breadcrumbs, and she's produced another bag, and she's tossed a small handful from this bag, and I feel like only now, after you kind of say that, she kind of freezes up and stops talking, and just stares at what she's tossed out of this bag. And you see the pigeons are not eating this. There are, as you see, look a little closer perhaps, you see there are flecks of red on whatever these little pieces, these little morsels are.
What's that?
Take a look.
Pick up one of these little weird things.
Yeah, you take a few steps to get down to them, and you pick them up, and they are teeth. They are all teeth. And yeah, you see that they have flanges of flesh on pieces of them. And then from behind you, you hear a soft thunk in the snow. And you turn, and you see a golden nose with a strap on it, also smeared in blood. What's left?
I see.
Be very, very careful here, Willow. Because your companion, Nimvile, wasn't. She disappears down the bank.
Willow just kind of like sits there traumatized. I feel like, yeah.
Yeah. Then Orin, yeah, you see Nocien kind of come down the bank by herself. Or no, I guess you were probably still in the... Did you stay in the building, or did you come out? What did you do?
Yeah, I think I just stayed with Patrocles to, I don't know, appease him somehow.
Yeah, he
give
probably
a
just tries
guarantee
to
that Willow's coming back.
Okay, yeah. Probably a bit of a conversation. Like, so, you're a big man. What are you packing? You got a maul? You got a shillelagh?
You know, sledgehammer.
Oh, shit.
You know, it's a little basic, but sentimental value, you know?
Just a sledgehammer.
Well, yeah. I don't
You just
have much use for anything else.
I guess it'll get the job done. Crumple a chest with a sledgehammer, with a maul, you know, just the same, I suppose. Kind of tentatively starts, like, sipping a drink.
Yeah, a bit more affordable on my end. It
oh, yeah,
also starts
I'm sure.
sipping. Awkward dudes shuffling like natty lights.
Oh. Yeah. Of course, yeah.
Did you catch the big game?
Yeah, you've been watching Orbit? It's a great Orbit game that's been going on.
Oh.
Yeah, and then, by now, yeah, you see Nocien comes back in by herself, and whispers to the group of Legends. She was there, the Lodnassans. Yeah, they make their way out of this building. And then, Willow?
Really quick, just for
for anybody who's listening who might not know what a Lejean is, and for also me who might not know what a Lejean is.
A Lejean is just anybody that's a priest or priestess of the drow goddess known as our glorious lady.
Okay.
Yeah, so Damnau is the overall goddess. It's the older proper term for the drow moon goddess, encompasses all her forms. Which include Limia, who's the goddess of community. She's the one you can worship. And Lekole is the goddess of fury, reprisals, and destruction. You cannot worship her by any means. The extremist faction we dealt with in the prologue, they worship Lekole. And then Lombra, the drow goddess of secrecy, grace, and power. They're the ones worshipped by the Ministry of our Hidden Mistress, and kind of by proxy, all of you guys. And so yeah, those are kind of like the three flavors. Nunsan and Limia Ajan, I think ultimately are worshipping Limia, but Nunsan obviously kind of leans towards Lekole a little bit, but ultimately they're just Damnau worshippers. I know it's a little complicated right now, but think of it like the Catholic God, right? Fucking 3 parts in one, 3-person God. Then yeah, essentially the only one that's legal is Limia. So there you go. There's my TED Talk, Annie, for your answer for what a Lejean is. A Lejean is ultimately a priest within this kind of complex, religious hierarchy.
Cool.
I think she doesn't come immediately back into the party.
That's what I was asking.
I think she's kind of traumatized, and honestly, what my gut is telling me is that she goes and looks for those donkeys.
Nice.
Just to go and be with them for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like you managed to see them No, I feel like you're probably busy with Titus whenever they pass is the thing. And I feel like when you look around, yeah, like there's no obvious stables or anything like that.
Okay, yeah. I guess if I can't find them, I'll just head on back in. Probably wander aimlessly outside for just a second to try and cool down.
Okay.
But,
take some time in the snow.
Yeah, take some time in the snow.
You gonna keep any of that stuff? Keep the nose or the teeth or anything?
Yeah, you know what? I think I am going to keep the nose. Put it in one of my little pockets.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'll leave the teeth, though.
Probably not good for keeping.
Yeah. Also a little gross. Don't really want to get my hands on too much of this.
The
nose was already a lot.
This is a little bit nasty. Okay, so you eventually make your way back in, and then, yeah, Warren, you see mildly stunned, probably looking Willow. Yeah. Patroclus yells out, "Oh, yes! Willow, come join us! We were just in the midst of riveting conversation."
Ah, yes, Patroclus, of course. Yeah, Oren, I'm here. I'm coming back to have normal conversations.
Did the Lejean give you a piece of candy or something?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, it was delicious. I'm sorry. I wish I would have gotten one for you too, Patroclus. I felt rude asking. She only offered for one. I wanted to keep my manners up.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
No, I understand. No, don't worry. I can afford my own candy. I just always assume a Lejean has candy on them, one way or the other.
That's
sort of
a reasonable assumption.
General trait, sort of drow thing. All right, who's feeling like moving on, getting pretty close to the party, moving into the castle, I believe, eh?
Sounds good to me. I'm with you.
All right then. And yeah, I think now is a good time to jump back over to Griff, who of course, has now. You've seen this village, your carriage clatters through. You can hear on the top, Lewis is kind of, yelling out hello to people. It goes up, and then the drawbridge comes down. You go across, another cart behind you comes across, and it comes back up. And yeah, you're in a small courtyard. Like I said, like a acre-sized yard, right? Not huge, but decent. Like a half acre, probably, realistically. Like a half acre yard. You see there's several other carriages, because when it comes down and you guys come through, before it goes back up, several other leave, empty, and Lewis, you hear him jump off, you hear the sound of the cart rocking up on its suspension, and you hear the other guy get off. Oh my god, I named him in this episode offhandedly, and I did not write it down.
Oh no.
Harold?
I think so.
Harold. I think it's Harold.
It's a really normal name, I remember.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Harold.
And, and then you hear somebody get off the back, too. who you probably saw earlier, but he just kind of clung back there through the frost. And you can hear him kind of shaking the icicles off. And they begin to open the doors. Oh, come on, lad, get out of there. We have to unload our cakes. What are you sitting around for?
Oh yeah, let's do it. He helps start unloading some cakes.
Awesome, yeah. You just unload these cakes pallet by pallet, these big boxes, and you begin to shuffle them inside of this vast, beautiful castle that is arranged to be lit with these arcano torches in sconces that look like torches, like they're frozen flame light, but they just kind of light the room with an even, steady, flame-esque light. You begin to bring them into a massive banquet hall, sort of like TARDIS-esque, and you realize what it is. It's actually the back half of this castle. It's built downwards so that you can't see it from the front, so that it sort of extends down into this absolutely gargantuan, Harry Potter-esque banquet hall, but with only one gargantuan table, and there is a hole in the middle of it, a big hole cut in the center, and clearly everybody's meant to essentially sit around this giant square. And you go to one corner of this gargantuan table, and you begin to unbox cakes with Lewis, and you begin to set up this array, and you see just a vast arrangement of servants of all kinds setting up meats, giant, what are those giant, we also ran into this in our last campaign, the fucking meat thing you shave off, like shawarma, that thing.
Like gyros?
Like a gyro, exactly, like that thing that you carve off gyros for.
What the hell is that thing called?
Right, we did the same fucking thing in another campaign.
Spinny guy.
That big spinning meat stick.
Big spinning meat.
Big spinny meat guy.
Fuck, I want some big spinning meat. People are, bringing out fresh baked pastries and breads, wines. People are rolling out kegs of liquor and wine and etc. It's just this massive feast, and you see there's only maybe 2 guards in here, but largely servants, humans, drow, and for the probably one of the rare times you see this in the city, there are gnolls here. All of them wearing cowls, but you can tell by their posture immediately. They're bringing in produce, and there's livestock that are being slaughtered in this room to be served, clearly. In tartar and shit. And the gnolls are handling all that stuff.
Cool. Hey Lewis, is this one of those kind of shindigs where I'm gonna be walking around with a platter?
Oh, of course, my boy. They can come and serve themselves from the ultimate banquet table, but, we go about show our wares and tell people to come back to Lewis's cakes after it's all said and done.
Perfect, I'll do exactly that.
Well, fantastic.
And I get a nice tray of I put on the smallest sample size cakes, little hors d'oeuvre cakes.
Mm-hmm.
And I start walking around, and I'm looking for, I guess everyone's dressed in red row garb. It's gonna be hard to sort of pin any nobody's wearing a big pope hat,
unfortunately. But the guests aren't there. Guests aren't there quite yet. Remember, right now we're in prep. You probably have a few minutes right now, right? This is all servants getting everything set up. So if you have something you wanted to do before the guests got there, that's kind of what I'm trying to give you.
Oh shoot. No, I can't think of anything. I feel like there's something I should do, but
No, I'm just trying to give you the opportunity. I just didn't want to not give you the opportunity to have a moment before the guests got in if you wanted to be nosy.
So it's really just servants and purveyors in this room right now?
Exactly. Yeah. Servants and vendors and stuff.
How high is the ceiling?
Oh, dude, it's huge and arched, but there are wood beams up there, right? I'm literally imagining construction-wise, it has sort of the internal construction of that Harry Potter dining room.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, so it has those cross beams up there you could get in between.
Okay. Just making sure, just in case.
Oh yeah, and there's probably 3 chandeliers, of course.
Oh, of course, there has to be.
Yeah, huge chandeliers.
Okay.
Probably
I think for now I'm just trying to stay low. I'm prepping everything, helping, and just sort of racing in my mind. What am I gonna? Oh man, I've gotten in a little deep here. just very worried about the mental state of Lewis and how like we're gonna end our relationship.
You just have a job now.
Honestly, thinking about how I could fake my death tonight.
The party just has to support Lewis's cakes from now until the day we die.
Just commit to the job, man. This is just your job. You're an orphan anyways.
Honestly, that is crossing my mind of like character-wise, this is kind of everything that that Griff has ever wanted.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, give it a second. Just let it breathe. I think there's a lot of exciting options there. That's why I did it. I mean, obviously. Obviously, that's why I did it. Come on, I'm here to make your life hard.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I'm ready for the guests.
Sweet. Yeah, and then by then, the same time the guests arrive, this is when everybody begins to get word from these attendants who, you guys see are just being treated like horse shit. I won't get into detail, right? We have a line there, but like, yeah, they're being terrible. They're being horrible. They're slapping these fucking people. They're like asking for shit. They're knocking shit over and just being like, clean that up. You know, all that fun stuff. Mm-hmm. Give me your shirt. And eventually, but they shepherd you up the hill. The drawbridge comes down. But before all of this happens, we have a vital thing to resolve. Sinette, my good companion. Could you give me that sneak roll?
Here we go.
Done and done.
Myself an 8.
Yeah, you managed to sneak your way across this floating flow of frosty crags, this absolutely frigid ice, sort of have to frogger your way across some flows, and you managed to get to the other side.
Sinette will crack her knuckles, go up to the wall, and that same web magic kind of extends from her fingers. Webs just kind of, threads, webs kind of arc from her fingers into the walls of this castle, and her magic kind of covers the entire thing.
Awesome.
And with it, she has a general awareness of everything that happens inside this building.
Awesome. So, okay. Let's set some limitations to this real quick.
Okay.
So I think, once again, it has tricked you. The size of the building has tricked you, like I was saying about the dining hall. So I think you can choose...
That is fine.
I think you can choose the dining hall or everything else. Right?
The dining hall is where the main party is going to be, right?
It seems like it. Yeah, absolutely.
Then I will choose everything else.
Okay, awesome. Fantastic choice. Yeah, so that's going to be the courtyard. That's going to be sort of the entry hallway rooms, and that's going to be sort of the private bedrooms that are kind of in the wall of sort of the false facade of the smaller front of the castle. So yeah, and you begin to and okay, that's the other thing. You have awareness of everything, but I do feel like there's a focus element to it, right? It's like you have the ability to have a CCT sort of camera-esque thing in this space at any time, but you do have to choose which screen you're looking at, right?
But I get the idea that she can see it all, but if she wants to like really know what's happening, she needs to like focus on a particular part of it.
Yeah, it's like she's mentally getting this like the inside of a fly's eye, right? You get this like fractured, like you're far enough along Worm, right? Have you gotten to the sort of the later stuff with?
I finished it.
Oh my god, we need to talk about that later. So yeah, the Doormaster stuff. Whenever stuff happens, but like right, there's some stuff with Doormaster, right? And you know what I'm talking about.
I definitely get that. Right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And yeah, I feel like you sort of have like a magical. At least in my mind, I see Sinette as getting like a magical variant of something like that. Of all of a sudden, because she has to stay in the same place, doesn't she?
Yeah, I cannot move.
Boom, and they're in a great place for that. So yeah, I just feel like you get this sort of this like 360 all around you, like all of these like fly eye fractured screen-esque fragments that essentially can show you every, if you can find it, every inch of this space.
I love it. Yeah.
Cool. Boom. So that's what you're doing. You turn on your Spider CCTV TV magic, which rules, and you begin to pick up. I think whenever you do this, it's a little bit before the party starts proper. But you can see servants come in. You can probably see Griff come through in the carriage, you see more servants. Probably see guards come through. Probably see some of the rich folk that are mulling about. Oh, that's the vital thing you see.
yeah, you see the VIP party. Yeah, in these private rooms, hidden in the walls of the castle, outside of the banquet hall, is where this sort of VIP gathering is happening. Sort of like the equivalent of a couple suites of a hotel. And yeah, if you poke in and you see people almost barely costumed, clearly wealthy, paladins of all kinds. I mean, you see clergy, both of Solar Pantheon, and you also see, like, clergy of Laud Nonsan and Limia. God damn it. I got it, guys. I got it. Come on. I'm going to say it every time I can. Laud Limia Ajan, also hanging out in there. You see, you know, if you recognize visually any of the three from Ivory Row, like if you've ever seen Mr. Alas in the distance or anything like that, right? You can see Mr. Alas. There are just some astoundingly wealthy people, all sort of lounging about and doing drugs of varying kinds and drinking, that sort of thing. And as time goes by, eventually they start to trickle down towards the banquet hall with everybody else.
Okay. Yeah, I think, well, Sinette will probably make a side comment about how much that wealth could be used for better things, but she's definitely just focusing on the private conversations. I do want to see if I can find Reese's. Yes.
Recent.
I will remember that eventually.
You're good. The moment you remember it, he will die. Go ahead.
Yes. My dream. Anywho's, yeah, she definitely wants to see if she can find this recent individual.
Oh yeah, I feel like it takes a little while, like flitting through sort of these fragments, but yeah, totally, he's in there.
Yeah. Can I get a glimpse of what he's talking about? Is it just casual, nothing too important stuff?
I feel like it's probably mostly too specific. Like, they're in such a casual, like, intimate setting, like with friends and people that he knows so well. Like, they're talking about incidents and they're explaining, like, oh, like that one time, and oh, you know how so-and-so is, and the way that, oh, with the, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's such personal, specific conversation that I feel like a lot of it's pretty vague. But you can tell he's, like, shit-talking some of his men, probably. You probably pick up something. Give me an investigate.
I'll give it a shadow.
And I'll tell you if you get something super-duper good. Nice. Give me a D. Give me a D. I want to give you a D8, but I feel like it's too mean. No. Fuck it. D8. Sinette is gonna. This is gonna hurt Sinette. Give me a D8 mind stress. Is that in this game? Oh my god, I forget this every time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
There is mind stress. Oh, golly.
Ooh.
That's a good 7.
Golly gosh.
Luck. I do have a 1 mind protection, but that's about it.
6. Still not bad. Still not bad. Oof. So that gives you a medium mind fallout. Yeah. I'm gonna give it to you at the end of what I describe you here. Yeah. So I feel like you peek into.
I'll accept.
Yeah, you peek into this guy's conversation. He's shit talking. He's shit talking some of his men. When you peek in, and he's talking about this absurd individual. And I told him if he kept doing this, I would make an example of him. And still, he does it. So what do? I put him on reaping duty. Yeah, it turns out we had a fresh harvest in the perch. Unfortunately, he seems to have some sort of trepidation. So, he's hiding the kid out at his personal place. I know, we're letting him play the game for a little while longer, and if it doesn't work, pop! Gonna turn his brains into a smoothie, am I right? Yeah, kind of swilling a drink. Yeah, I think this mind fallout is, livid, enraged, right? You get what I'm going for?
Yeah.
And I think this is more, narrative than mechanical. I think maybe if you try to do anything mind-wise, to, like, cover your anger or, like, subdue it, you're gonna
have difficulty in social conversation.
Exactly.
If you're trying to make rolls to like scare somebody or intimidate somebody, that's good. But if specifically you're trying to be kind or you're trying to like calm down or something, yeah, you are fucking livid.
Okay. Oh, he said he put him on reaping duty.
Yarp.
Is that a term that I should know?
No, it should not be.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Yeah, I don't think.
It can only mean good things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good words.
That's true.
It's a good verb.
This is a good guy.
He has trepidation, and that means he's hiding a kid at his home. That means good, I think.
It means good things.
Yeah, so Sinette's kind of just like looking at him. It's kind of silent for a bit, but she's kind of breathing hard. Like it's a joke. Like we're a joke. I should watch what everyone else is doing. Problem for later. Yes. And she does that. She kind of starts looking at, the rest of the places and just kind of keeping an eye out.
Yeah.
But she's probably distracted the entire time.
I feel like, eventually you can catch them as they come to the courtyard. And yeah, I feel like everybody around this time, I feel like you guys can probably see each other, probably. Gertrisa. Sinette obviously can't, but like, oh my god, Gertrisa. We gotta do some Gertrisa tomfoolery before we allow this to go smoothly. Gertrisa, what were you doing in this meantime?
We were talking before that Gertrisa was kind of following Sinette's lead, just kind of sitting around listening for keywords, kind of in a similar situation. Mostly just going out of her way to try to look inconspicuous because of her big ass dog.
Of course. I feel like maybe one or two people have pets and stuff. I don't think you look that ridiculous.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose I imagine she's doing like some ridiculous, just like going like very blatantly just like glancing at Sinette out of the side of her eye, just trying to keep her in view. Whenever she tries doing this maneuver to cross the
Oh yeah, you can't keep her in view unless you like chase her. She goes around the back of the castle to do this.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. She is absolutely like
trying
to orbit around her like as inconspicuously as she can.
All right, give me a sneak while you're doing all this tomfoolery.
All right, yeah.
High and low society.
Yeah, and high and low society. Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Boom.
You're good. You are nice and sneaky.
Yeah, so she's just kind of I'm picturing this being just like a circular moat.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a joke of a moat, right? It's a fucking ice moat, like you can jump across the ice. But it's supposed to invoke sort of a classical castle look,
Yeah, so she's just trying to circling around to the back of this castle. Are there people back here?
No. Yeah, once you get all the way to the back, like the moat's wide enough, and there's no entrances back there or anything. That, yeah, you're good. And yeah, part of it like descends into the hill, so like the castle sort of, like I've described, like the banquet hall itself is like depressed into the ground, so it sort of buries itself into the ground in the back. So the moat sort of goes over it at a point, essentially. So yeah, there's nothing to guard back here.
What is Gertrisa good at?
Murder.
That is the question.
Very
Big
good
dog.
at murder.
Big dog. Weird dog.
Ooh, I forgot all about an ability I had. So, do you think there's been a pretty heavy, paladin presence here, right?
Oh yeah.
So I think I'm just gonna use scent to sniff out to sniff out a big concentration of these guys.
Big concentration of paladins?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, is that a roll?
Yeah, and I can do so with mastery because of...
Kick-ass.
Because of my dog.
Yeah, just give me that investigate.
Investigate? Alright. In low society, right?
Low society, yeah. 8, nice. Okay, cool. So, I think you're gonna have a pretty easy time catching, like... Problem is, like, what is general paladin scent, right? But I do think Belvin immediately can tell if you manage to catch, like, some paladin scent. Like, there's a lot of them around the hamlet and stuff, but obviously it seems like there's quite a few within the building itself, because Belvin keeps wanting to go across the moat.
Yeah, I think... Do you think it's improbable that my size to my lady to dog ratio is significant enough that I can ride Belvin?
I feel like you are a small lady.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing her. Because I'm thinking I just want to hop on Belvin's back and have him just, like, hop across the ice.
Fuck it, yeah, do it. Give me that sneak. I love that image.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it says you can't ride him, you can.
Yeah, she's very little and he is very sweet.
Yeah, he's very big. He's big as shit, as we've discussed.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
Boom, bitch.
8, easy peasy. Yeah, dude, go ahead. You managed to skitter across those icebergs Frogger-esque. Boink, boink, boink. Belvin springing his little feet, scratching against the ice.
Yeah, and this is all happening while I'm still behind the... So I imagine she just kind of hops up on the, like, on the fucking, the bank right beside where Sinette is.
Okay, yeah, Sinette's obviously kind of comatose, doing her thing.
Okay, yeah, she kind of glances at her for a second, and then, yeah, I guess just sort of lets Belvin lead her to wherever Belvin's trail is leading them.
Okay, yeah, and unfortunately, it's taking you around the other side of the building, but there's another way. I mentioned that a part of it is depressed, right? Like, goes underground. So imagine, right, there's like a normal floor, and you ever met anybody that has like one of those living rooms that is like down, like 2 stairs? It's just like, for some reason, like pushed down in the ground?
Yeah.
Sort of what this banquet hall is. It's like 10 steps depressed down into the ground at the back of the castle. So it's like buried in the ground, and it runs underneath the moat. And so there's actually like a sloped part of the roof, right? Like a diagonal part of the roof that covers that like stair walkway down underground and underneath the moat. So you can actually scamper up that slope, and you could be able to get straight onto like the ramparts, you know? Or, is that what they're called?
All right, yeah.
Battlements?
Yeah, I think seeing where Belvin's leading her, she is just gonna sort of pull back on him and direct him up this slope and try getting up onto the roof.
Okay, yeah, because it has like, right, like that super classical, because I'm seeing this as like there's just an era of Aelfir history that's some bizarre mix of like Bavarian-ish, like Germanic culture and like Lord of the Rings elves, sort of like long flowing gowns and like classical fantasy like hair and like little hamlets and castles that have the classic walls and like battlements and all that stuff.
Yeah, just like the swoopy architecture.
Exactly. And so this has that like the 4-paned, you know, walls with the, you know, the parapets. I don't know how to describe this any better, right? The very classic castle wall.
Heck yeah.
And I think you can do that for free. I don't feel like that's a roll. It shouldn't be too difficult. Maybe a sneak. I feel like you need to sneak again.
Okay. No problemo.
Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, with a glorious 8, you managed to sneak up this kind of back slope. Sinette, you can probably kind of see, you know, Catrice doing this. Do you say anything to Catrice or anything? Or to Sinette or anything?
Yeah, as I imagine the image is she lands on the bank, runs past Sinette in one direction, doubles back around and runs past her, in the other direction and says, "I'm going onto the roof."
And yes, Ned, you can kind of see this go on.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I imagine she's just riding on Belvin's back. Just hopping up onto the battlements or wherever she can find purchase. From this vantage point, I guess she's gonna look and see if there's a way she can get inside this building.
Now that you're on the battlement, like, you can, you can clamber down into the building from a hatch on all the, the parapets and stuff.
All right.
But there are guards. You can see them. They're not on the battlement. They're kind of down below. But if you make enough noise, you can probably catch their attention. And the wall's only it's probably close to over the top of your. It probably it's chin height to you.
Okay. And from this vantage point, would you say that she can see any other guards that could potentially see these guys?
The guards are all beneath you. They're in the courtyard below. They're preparing to let people in. So all I'm saying is that if you make enough noise, there's probably 4 of them down there. They will be able to look up and see you, unless of course you're hiding behind the wall, crouching down and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So I think she crouches down out of sight, and she looks to Belvin and whispers, "Speak." And Belvin just kind of starts making his hyena sounds.
Which are?
Do some hyena sounds for us.
Yeah, hyena sounds.
No, make them. Give us the sounds.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sort of. I'm thinking kind of like a. I don't know.
Oh
sort of,
yeah.
Give it a little bit.
It almost sounded like he was like, "God damn it."
God damn it.
That's what Alex sounds like whenever he's upset.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
That sounds like a perfect hyena noise for me.
Yeah, that's a real genuine hyena right there.
All right, so why? What's this achieving? What are you looking for?
She's just looking to make loud sounds to see if while remaining out of sight, to see if she can distract the guards.
Yeah, one of the guards looks up and says, "Hey, what the fuck is that noise? Hey! What the? Hey, somebody go check that out! Somebody go up there and check that out! That is weird as hell!" And then, you hear some footsteps and you hear, some doors. And, it's not the biggest courtyard, so it's not going to take them that long to get up there, but they're heading for the battlements.
Yeah, so she's gonna, Gertrisa is gonna ready her war cleaver.
Right.
My God.
And just post up right next to this, up right next to the door, with Belvin on the other side.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, you're gonna get fed to the birds.
You do it.
She's gonna do a sneak attack on this dude coming up the stairs.
Oh God. Sinette sees this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see all of this.
Oh, fuck. There's no way I can get there in time, is there?
I mean, you can from the time that guy goes, "Hey, go see that." I mean, you could probably get there with the same amount of time. Roll pursue. If you roll pursue, you can get to Gertrisa first.
Okay. I guess I'll drop my spell before I mentally, Sinette just, starts, reaching her hand in through one of them to try to choke Gertrise, and then realizes she can't do that. Luckily, I do have Pursue as a skill, and I got a 9.
Oh my God. Yeah, luckily, you break it, and with your 4 arms and your perch strength, you can slink up this slope in 5 seconds and snap to Gertrisa. Yeah, and Gertrisa, you can hear Sinette coming, probably being fairly sneaky, I'm going to presume.
Oh, hello, Gertrisa. That's my name, I'm sorry.
So there's a door she's beside, right?
Yeah.
What kind of door?
I think it's just a wooden door with a classic iron ring. right? It like leads into one of those kind of rooms that typically like all they have in them is like a chest and a ladder leading up to the top of like the parapet.
Okay, so I'm gonna run to Gertrude and grab the axe from her hand. You said it was an axe, hatchet?
It's a war cleaver.
War cleaver. I will rip that from her hands, and then attempt to loop it through the door, the knocker, so it jams if they try to pull it towards them.
Yeah, let's say for narrative's sake that's how that works, and that totally works, yeah. And yeah, you can hear the door. Well, hey, come on, open the door, man. Kind of pushes it against the cleaver. Come on, man.
I kind of start whispering to Catrice. What in the world were you thinking? What is this?
I was going to knock him out and take his uniform. And potentially, like...
With a cleaver?
Probably.
You don't!
There's a flat side to it.
And this man disappears and no one's going to notice? After being sent up here by somebody else?
I don't know, maybe.
That is not a maybe. That is a yes or no question. Will they notice?
Hey, come on, man. Open the door.
I thought I'm
getting angry.
I thought it was a good idea at the time, okay?
I'm getting pretty freaking angry.
Listen, this dude is going to signal for more help if we spend too long here. We can incapacitate him. It's some... That's all we need to do.
And then she just kind of waves her hand, and she starts trying to pull the cleaver out of the door.
Okay.
Sinette will try to stop her.
To resolve this, we have a counter fight roll.
Oh.
God damn.
Oh,
wow. By what?
Hair of her chin.
Can I use my
chin?
Can I use Belvin to give me mastery on this?
Gonna have Belvin rip my throat out?
Yeah, you could, but you'd have to do something narratively, and I think that kind of escalates the tensions quite a bit. It feels to me like a separate role.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
I think the worst Belvin's gonna do is snarl.
Yeah, I feel like Sinette's a cold hard bitch. I don't feel like a snarl's gonna spook her from her task here.
Yeah.
We'll leave from the roof and leave him be. We trust the others can take care of themselves, and we just walk in like normal partygoers.
But I need my cleaver. That's mine.
I know you want to be useful, but there are better ways. And I will get your cleaver back.
Can I have it now? I'd like it. I would like it back.
Guys, I'm really getting really mad, and I know that you're out there talking, and I'm gonna go get someone else, okay?
Listen, it's fine.
What?
Don't worry about us, dearie. It's fine.
What? You haven't said a word to me, and you're clearly barring the door, and there was some very spooky noises coming from here a second ago.
Listen, dearie, what is your name?
What?
What is your name, dearie?
Kindris?
Well, Kindris, we're exterminators. We're taking care of it right now. Don't you worry.
What?
There's an infestation up here. We are taking care of it. This whole place, this area is under lockdown for the time being. Don't worry.
Just this part of the battlement?
Yeah, yes, because this is the part that's infested, you see?
Give me a fucking compel roll. Deceive. Give me a deceive. Deceive. No, it is deceive makes more sense, yeah. We have both deceive and compel. Like, as skills as in this game, so deceive makes more sense to me.
Oh, fuck.
Boom, bitch! No, that is no success.
That is exactly 0 success. If you could give me a D8 shadow.
Right? No, I do not have shadow protection. Great.
Nice! A single point
sweet.
of stress means I don't really want to roll.
That does bring me up to 4, though.
Bring you up to what?
That brings me up to 4, though.
Okay, luckily I rolled over. You're good. Look, I didn't know anything about exterminators coming, and no one else did either. But I think you're lying to me.
No, I'm not. Don't worry. It's a secret infestation.
Okay, so Sinette is going to strip down to just her underwear.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is taking a turn.
Okay, I'm okay with this.
We promise this one's not nasty.
This one's not nasty. Okay, here we go. Okay, then she pushes Gertrude aside, takes the war cleaver from the door handle, and, like, partly opens it. And, like, she has her clothes in front of her, like she's covering herself up. Okay, yes, we're lying. But you're bothering us.
I feel like he peeks his head kind of slightly through, and he looks at Sinette, and he looks at Gertrude, and he, like...
And I think Gertrude is also trying to take her clothes off.
And then, I think you just see he catches some vom in his mouth, gulps it, and just goes, carry on, and slams the door behind him. And he hears footsteps go pounding down below.
Fucking worked.
It's an Aelfir party, dude. That's the least surprising thing possible.
I coldly look at Gertrude.
Yeah, she's just kind of standing there impotently with her saggy tits out.
God.
You owe me big time.
We move on. The party now has moved into the banquet hall. You guys individually, Orin, Willow, I guess at least, make your way in. And then of course, Griff, you see people make their way in. People begin to mingle, and you can see, of course, there are plates passed out, drinks. People begin to attack the actual banquet itself beyond like the little snacks they're having outside. And this the kind of massive banquet table is pockets of food and then places to sit. Food, places to sit. And people are beginning to gather in groups along this big table. There's also like big side tables where people are eating by candlelight. Big flower arrangements, all that good stuff. And Patrocles begins to lead you, Willow, over to one of the side little private tables. Don't worry, I'll have someone bring us some select picks from the banquet.
Sounds good.
Yes, it does. Orin, are you hungry, my friend? You can feed yourself as you see fit.
Yeah, sure. Should I go sit at the main table?
Well, I'm afraid I didn't reserve a seat for you, seeing as how I didn't know about your company, but...
Well, maybe you could pull up a chair.
That would not be appropriate.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Willow, have fun.
I will do, Owen. Be sure to keep an eye on me, being my bodyguard and everything. Don't let me out of your sight.
Enjoy the party. And then, I'll go plop down somewhere at the banquet table, close by-ish, where I have, like, plain view of Willow.
Okay.
I guess I'll just eat and drink.
Awesome. Yeah. And there is a bevy. You can eat as well as you've ever eaten in your life here.
Mm-hmm.
Griff, so you see, the primary amount of the servers, that were here to begin with, mostly drow, a couple of humans, like I said, some gnolls. The gnolls leave once everybody makes their way in. And a final group of servants come out from the back. And it's a little strange, because whenever they start to come, Lewis kind of pulls you to the side, and he's like, okay, lad, now, I don't want you to be judgmental of this next group of help that's going to assist with the rest of the party, all right? I don't want any bad words come back about my new young man Griff, about prejudice or something of the sort. You hear?
Of course, no. I'm not prejudiced. What's going to happen?
And then from beside you, you hear like a... And, you can smell the smell of tobacco waft from beside you. And, if you look over, what you see is essentially standing like a man, dressed like a man, but what is undeniably an ape. This is essentially a large ape man.
Fuck yeah!
Oh, it's a funny monkey.
Oh, it's monkey time.
And he's smoking. He's got a cigarette. It's hand rolled clearly,
Fuck
and he's lighting it with a big old Zippo.
Fuck yeah, monkey smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, but of course it's like a fantasy Zippo, so it's got like a big, huge, like fancy gold clicker.
A Bippo. Griff is just mouth agape. Mouth agape, look at this ape.
Ape.
Yeah, I feel like he looks over and he notices you fucking mouth agape. And he says, you want me to put something in that so you close it?
Fuck yes! Oh, ennui monkey!
Sorry, sir. No, sorry, sir.
Is what I thought. Are you, some of the rest of the servants?
Yes, sir. Would you like a cake?
Fuck no.
Okay.
The rest of my boys are coming. He kind of looks behind him, and then, 4 more ape dudes. One of them like an orangutan, one of them a gorilla, the other sort of general ape dudes like him, all of them sort of standing like men, all dressed in the same uniform that he's wearing. Also sort of has this like red gold barred, almost like a circus top, like a coat on top, almost like a ringmaster or something. And then red trousers, but none of them, of course, are wearing shoes. And you see that, they are all, of course, holding trays.
Wait a minute, Alec, wait a minute. Are they wearing gloves?
Yes!
Yes!
Nice.
They are wearing gloves. And you see that the 4 guys behind this monkey, ape, are all holding massive silver trays covered in lavish, carved fruit displays.
Dope.
Ooh.
And some of them are a little spooky. You know, they got some spooky pictures going on of like heart's blood beasts carved out of, mango type shit. They got some scenic design going on.
That's cool as shit.
And the monkey pulls another drag from his cigarette. I'm Jean-Paul. These are my boys. We are coming from Derelictus, bringing a gift for Titus.
Wow, those fruit carvings are sure really cool.
Thank you. It is our art, our craft. It is life incarnate, reproduced in a macrocosm.
Wow, that's really poetic.
Thank you. I'm very proud of my work. Tell me, could you get some of your boys to assist in helping put out the less carved fruits we have brought to the masses?
Oh, yeah, sure. And I go, I guess gather up some boys.
Yeah, awesome.
Gather up start moving some fruit.
Yeah, and you'll bring in some of these elaborate, along with the carving, there's just these carved fruits. And they're all exotic. It's not just like pineapples and shit. It's all strange, like Derelictus and hard fruits, and probably exotic fruits from elsewhere in Destera and maybe even elsewhere. From Skyport, all that stuff that's been imported. And you begin to distribute it kind of in some empty places on the banquet table, and I think some of the rest of the boys start to go pass some of that out. And then Jean-Paul and his boys, they are the last of the servants to arrive, the last of the banquet kind of caterers. And after everybody eats for a while, is anybody going to do anything in the meantime before anything?
I'm like casing the joint, like walking around trying to ear to the wind.
Okay, fantastic. Just for time's sake, I'm going to say that you get kind of the same general stuff that I've described before about Reeson, about his like general attitudes that I described to Sinet from other people, that he may be too nice, or that he's even like too sympathetic to the drow or something like that. And that he just has this incredible veneer to him, if it's a veneer at all, that it seems like everybody kind of genuinely can attest to his character.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Okay, so you start to get some more gossip, and eventually the back of the house opens, these kind of big swinging doors that let you down into the banquet hall to begin with, and down descending the steps, a gold-caped Titus. He also has a golden mask, the bottom, like, third of which is almost, like, sequined, but as you get closer, of course, it's all jewels. And he's wearing, like I said, a dripping golden cape, clearly gold, like, edged, like, with real gold. Rare metals strewing his fingers. And yeah, he's got his, like, hands up, kind of in a classic, like, pose. And as he descends, his cape draping, you can kind of see walking behind him is very straight-laced, upright, a woman, also in a mask. Kind of, walking kind of directly to his left. And of course, he also has a big entourage, kind of keeping his cape from getting caught on anything. And as he comes in, everybody begins to applaud him. And then he waves everybody off. No, my friends. Please save the lavish love. Not for me, but for the guest of honor this evening. Thank you for coming, my friends. I am, of course, Titus yearns through eternity, your friend through such a time span. I beg of you, enjoy yourselves, make use of the banquet, and make use of each other. We are gathered to celebrate a man who has brought nothing but light and solar guidance to the Spire and us at large. The one, the only, Paladin Captain Reason. And he kind of does, big applaud and steps to the side. And then, from behind him, from the doors, descends a fairly clear-cut man. He's like surprisingly straight-laced for the atmosphere. He's got sort of a similar cut as Patrocles ultimately. And you see Patrocles is applauding extra loud. He's got like short, cropped black hair, and he's definitely an Aelfir, but he only wears a half mask. It only covers like the top half of his mask. He lets his like jaw show. Gives kind of a terse smile and a short wave, and then Titus turns back. Please place all the praise, the love, the affection, and the connections you can give to our good friend Reason here. He'll need it, won't he? And kind of claps him on the shoulder. Reason, it is an honor to host you here. And Reason looks up. It is an honor to be here. Thank you for hosting me in your beautiful palatial garden. It is truly a magnificent work of art. And more people begin to applaud. Once again, big Aelfir game. Then the two begin to talk, and sort of this speech is over. They begin to descend with one another arm in arm, and Patrocles turns to you. Listen, little one, do you want to know a fellow strange woman? A peculiar woman, I should say.
If you're inclined to introduce me, I suppose I could meet her.
I certainly think I could introduce you. Doesn't look like her husband is paying her much mind. And he kind of stands up, holds out his arm.
Yeah, of course, I take it.
And he leads you towards the woman that was standing to kind of the back left of Titus, who, has not followed Titus and Reason. As I said, kind of gone off on her own, kind of got a drink and just sort of sipping by herself. Okay, so he leads you over to this woman. She's, like I said, kind of plainly dressed, surprisingly, for this event. Definitely not doing the theme by any means. Opulent, but opulent once again, and that's sort of like simple, minimalist, like understated wealth sort of way. Patrocles yells out, "Ah, Elsbeth! Lovely to see you." And she kind of winces, visibly, and kind of gives him a curt nod. Yes, Patrocles, lovely to see you as well. And she kind of waves him over, and looks at you, Willow.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Breeze through the Willow.
Nice to meet you. May I call you Willow?
Of course.
Excellent. I'm Elsbeth.
It's wonderful to meet you, Elsbeth.
Wonderful to meet you as well. And what do I owe the pleasure, Patrocles? Well, my new friend here seems to have the same sort of peculiarities you do. I want to go make myself known to Reason for a moment. Why don't you get to know my new young friend here? He winks at you, Willow.
You go do that, Patroclus.
I would be honored. Please, Patroclus, take your time. I'm sure Rhys and Titus will be very excited to see you.
Run along now.
Bye-bye. How did you get it stuck with him, sweetie?
Well, I guess you could say I just really wanted to get out tonight, and, well, he was the only one at the ice baths who I could catch the eye of.
Ah. Well, sometimes necessity is the mother of spending a night with an asshole.
Hopefully not the entire night.
Let's hope not. Well, once we start to finish up here, I can show you something interesting if you like.
Oh, I'd very much like that. Patroclus kept saying that you and I might be alike in some way. I honestly don't know what way that could be. I did tell him that I'm not from around the Spire.
Ah, well, I'd suppose that's what it is.
Oh?
Yes. I'm from, originally, but I grew up far east.
Really? Me too, actually. Whereabouts?
Mogwyn Porth.
Ah, I'm from Deeper Brazicot.
Oh, my. Deeper Brazicot.
Yes. I'm not from there, but, I grew up there.
Interesting. How did an Aelfir such as yourself end up there? Research, or...?
Yeah, of a sort. My family's research.
Ah.
I can't go into detail too much about it.
Of course. Our colleges are filled with secrets.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, in such a case, I think you will especially enjoy my little secret. Titus may not seem it, but he's a kind man. As far as Aelfir go.
Huh. Really? Well, he certainly has a magnificent set of spiral gardens here.
Yes. They are his life's work. One of them is mine.
Oh, which one?
2 over. A replica of Mogwyn Porth itself. A pallid little imitation, but a Porth engine here makes for research, a way to spend the time, and I allow the researchers over from Gwen to step in here and there, take a peek.
Well, that's amazing. That's quite a remarkable little bit of ingenuity you've got going there, Miss Elsbeth.
Well, thank you. I like to think it is as well. It is my life's work. Unfortunately, with the state of the Vermissian, I can't say that it was a very successful one. But luckily, Titus's trade allows for some allowance.
Now, wasn't there something you were going to show me, Miss Elsbeth?
Yes. That would be my engine, my Porth engine. Once we're done here, I can take you over there. It'll be a little bit quieter.
That sounds like a welcome reprieve to me.
Excellent. Unless, of course, you've already committed yourself to an after-party.
Oh, no. I will be coming with you. I believe that sounds far preferable.
Excellent. I think it will be too. Thank you so much for listening to this, our 3rd episode of Swan Dive. There were some serious technical challenges to getting this episode up, including sort of a loss of an entire track file. So the ultimate product here is something I'm very proud of. I hope you guys can tune in next week, in which we hopefully establish a regular schedule. Safe travels, friends.